we have a fantastic program, and the first speaker for our Flash Talks is Arianne Vitale Cardoso, who will be talking about municipal markets inside out and outside in. I think it's over to you.
I start, my name is Arianne Vitale, and I would like to start thanking the entire PICI Quadrennial organization for these moments of sharing experiences. I'm an artist, teacher, and researcher of art, and I'm a part of the curatorship of the Brazilian representation. And when we had the process to be in the market, so I imagined to show these other works I did in Brazil about making occupation, site-specific actions, participative collaboration for doing art inside the markets, getting close to the people and close to the artists together, thinking ways to intervene in the market, in the real city places. I come to present this project. I carry out with Thiago Bortoloso, that he could not come, unfortunately, but we been together working in all aspects in this project named Encounters with Contemporary Art, Encontros com a Arte Contemporânea, which are workshop on art, theory and practice of artistic and urban interventions, occupying spaces in the city. I will present, let's say, yeah, it's going. I will present here 2 occupations in public markets in Brazil with activation of the site-specific places and simultaneously participatory actions of those ones present. Initially, a municipal market in Pouso Alegre, mid-sized town located in Minas Gerais, southeast Brazil, where my family lives, and the other market is a municipal market in Campinas, a larger city located in the state of São Paulo. The project's Encounters with Contemporary Art brings workshops and artistic occupations, and in these examples, I am present here. Each edition lasts almost 4 months of work inside the markets. Together with the participants, we encourage creation of artistic interventions that activate relationships with the transdisciplinarities that permeate the public markets, in proposals that are adapted for each circumstances of each experiences. At the municipal market in Pouso Alegre, the actions interact with the people and with the fact that the traditional products are on the market are in clear decline in relation of the industrialized ones. We did a photographic work of the merchants with images of their hands holding the goods, and later these photos became banners decorated in ornate wooden structure, in which we made several festive processions with different manifestations of the local traditional culture derived from the south of the state of Minas Gerais, such as a morning star Folia de Reis. Folia de Reis is a very traditional religious culture in Minas, and they play in the 6th of January in a party in all the houses. This man's playing the guitar, goes house for each house, singing and praying. As well, caixeiras, a manatiquira, and local traditional musicians and dancers. We also created artistic installations such as an oversized mobile automaton created and developed by students and professors from the Federal Institute of Minas Gerais. Interventions with colors and installations of cozy place near the windows of the market. Plants and in the entrance activating the self-esteem of this traditional space in the city. At the Campinas market, so there are us with the... At the Campinas market, the challenge was to make public art during the lockdown in 2021. At unfortunate time when there are many deaths from COVID-19, with more than 800 daily deaths in the country, a negligent public administration, and the world population buried out from the socializing. The proposals were made by a group of artists who participate in online meetings about contemporary art that took place in the streaming platforms. These artists created works that were related to something sensitive, curative, and with spices and spiritualities in performances and installations, and also works that dialogued with aspects from the market and from the pandemic. For example, the handbags art market by the local artist Genivaldo Amorim, the performance by Ismar Curi, who traveled the market from inside out, creating relationship between a candomblé product store, an Afro-Brazilian religion, and tobacco store, which we called an artist's ancestors by Ismael, and he made this connection with creation of a large extended hope. The artist Carriero made a drawing on a urban scale built with materials found in the market. Another urban performance wrote art with different mobilities on foot, bicycle, and cart, in addition of 4 other artworks in photographs, drawing, postcards, soup bars that were distributed with the word time and another actions, but also touched directly on a relation with the market workers. For this, we create actions of drawing hobbies and transform the fishmongers' aprons into works of art painted collaboratively by the participants. From the inside out and from the outside in, now we are here intervening in this market, and I invited you to meet the Brazilian exhibition in the Building 70. A collective curatorship carried by 9 people in the installation. I am open to continue after and exchanging more experience with you, and thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Arianne. Thank you very much. Wonderful. Thank you very much, Arianne, for your wonderful talk. Sorry? That's okay. That's okay. It was great. So our second speakers on these flash talks are María Fernanda Videla and Francisca Peró, who will be talking about survival strategies of a theatre in the south of the world. Over to you. Okay.
Thank you.
Please come on here. Are you okay with my microphone, or do you want to?
Maybe 2. Yes. Thank you very much. Okay. Okay. Hi, everybody. We are very happy to be here. We came in representation of Teatro Bio Bio from the south of Chile. This is María Fernanda Videla, head of the scenic department of the theater.
Yes, and this is Francisca Peró. She's the executive director.
Well, we travel all this way here to tell you 4 survival skills we have learned and developed over these 5 years of existence of the Teatro Bio Bio, shifting our relation with the space from surviving to inhabiting.
Yes. So now, I think this phrase that is here,
yes, 9 of 10 natural disasters prefer Chile.
that will help us to understand how we work, how is our culture. So since we born, we kind of used to we have to navigate and survive for earthquakes, volcanoes.
Now tornadoes.
Now we have tornadoes
Yes,
too.
also.
So military coups, for example, but that's all South America as well, and many other countries, unfortunately. And so. So surviving is kind of our thing.
So
Now-
what is Teatro Bio Bio?
Yes.
So we can see the video.
Yeah, we have a video for you so you can see it for yourself.
Maybe we should.
I think it's big enough.
Yes?
You're not that tall.
I'm not that tall.
We really like it. That's why we wanted to show it to you. Okay. We'll talk further about the theater, but we wanted to show you a map that is very rough, but this is Chile, and as you see, it's very long. We actually had to move it to the other side so it can fit in the image. But as you can see, this is a very rough way to say that scenic art is very centralized in our capital city. And in the last 20 years, I will say this is really slowly moving into another regions. And because we are so long, we're kind of disconnected between regions. And Teatro Bio Bio is part of that change. Yeah, but the construction of this venue is not a brand new thing in Concepción, actually. We had a venue that it was from the 19th century. It was called Teatro Concepción. It was very important for the nation, and it was part of the national circuit that we had in the 20th century. But unfortunately, on 1973, after 10 days of the military coup, in a mysterious fire, this was all burned out. And I will say with that, it started decades of shutdown for the scenic arts in that area. And then it was demolished, and a small piece was left. You can see it here. Now it's a part of a shopping mall.
We're not very proud of that.
Yeah, so you can see what happened, like the image explains by itself. But 45 years later, we had this. This is Teatro Bio Bio. And we had like a big shift of aesthetics and how people think about building, like a theater building, from classic to a very contemporary image. Blah, blah, blah. Yes. Yeah, we want to say that in that gap of 45 years, we're not saying that artists didn't exist. They exist, they work, and they resist. And thanks to them, we can say we have this building now.
Well, and with this building comes also a big responsibility. This monstrous insect, industrial and abstract space, set the rules, the decisions we make, the venues, the proportions, the texture, the temperature we have will contain the relation between artists and community. And so we learn survival skill number 1, fight with the great expectations of the city. The truth is that nobody liked the building at the beginning. My team and I, we loved it, but the city has different thoughts about it. They thought it looked like a shoebox, or maybe like a bed for a cat. And
yeah,
so
like this white container, ugly, whatever.
So Teatro Bio Bio opened in March 2018. And it's a very big venue. We have different type of spaces in the building. A big venue, now it's black, but with 1,200 seats. And we have also another second venue with around 250 seats, like a typical contemporary black box. And we also held a lot of local companies there. And well, another second survival skill was leading the staff. We are well beginners. Nobody had worked in a theater before. Only 2 people had worked in a theater before. One of them was me, but I never was in charge of leading a whole team. So we set one specific goal that was making a full and very rich programming offer, artistic offer. So around 25 presentations per month and 50% from local artists is held in Teatro Bio Bio. And we learn working.
Yes. So I will say like a year on, oh, where is that image? Okay, you can imagine an image of people being really happy at the building. Because like after a year and a half, after a difficult but successful transit, I will say that this space was starting to become a pole for arts and exchange, and for artists from the region to show their work, and to be able to, like a platform to show outside, but also national and international work to come inside. And then, in October 2019, the social uprising started in Chile. And this was very challenging because the venue was only a year and a half. And we had to deal with what is our responsibility as humans, but as cultural agents, when in the streets are people fighting and dying over police brutality, and when actually the reality goes beyond the fiction, and we are actually useless in the emergency. So that's another skill that we learned, and which was to be able to transform, because sometimes venues has to become other thing. They can be a hospital if it needs, or a shelter. And in our case, it became a space for conversation and reflection over what was really happening.
Yes.
Yeah, so we kind of navigate that, and then boom, the pandemic.
We learned that, and then we have to receive the pandemic, and well, you know what happened. And after that, another funny thing happened to us. It came, a tornado came. So we lose some part of the roof, so we have to face a big reparation. And in parallel, we did some interesting shows in the building.
So
like
we decided
the lift.
to come out of the black box. We did work on the hall. We did a live performance between 2 theaters, one in Santiago, one in Concepcion. So actually people in Santiago can see what was happening in Concepcion.
Yes. We projected the building also from the outside, from the inside.
We lighted from the inside, we projected from the outside, and so then we go back to the kind of like reality, new reality in a weird way, but we came back. But after all this story we lived through, this is Rock in Concepcion, more than 200 people.
200,000 people, yes.
200,000 people. So we learned that we didn't have to focus only on the result and what was happening in the venue. And that's why we are here, and we're very fastly will say we are creating this space that is called TVV Lab to help us to create processes, to think more with the artists in the process instead of only the result that we will see. So we created a few months ago a scenic shop. We did this opera and also a coffee shop so people can meet with artists before or after. We created a residency only a few months ago so artists can stay here. It's for 4 people. And we hope next year we will have the TVV Lab that is more like a makerspace for scenic artists. And also a new venue, which will be kind of like a wild card, a place that it helps more the process than the result. Okay. Yes, we are learning how to inhabit this space so we can welcome people to inhabit it too, and we will welcome you, and we can talk later. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, María, Fernanda, and Francisca, for your wonderful talk. Sorry to be pushing so much about the time. Our next speaker is Carmen Vrolijk, talking about, Infinitos. Okay, over to you, Carmen.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you for being here. I am Carmen Vrolijk. I'm from Bogotá, Colombia. I'm a teacher at Universidad de los Andes, the art department. I'm a media artist, accidental curator. We're having our art and technology salon for 10 years. This year is called Voltaje, but I'm here to talk about La Quinta del Lobo, which is a performing arts, multimedia performing arts company that we established in 2010. We have been working for several years now. It's an ensemble that changes its theme each time we face a new project. And I was here 4 years ago. This is my second time at the PQ. And 4 years ago, I was presenting Hybris, which is a play on climate change that I was about to pre-premiere in Berlin at Radial System. And it never premiered in Bogotá. This was the team for Infinitos. And this is what happened. We were ready to premiere in March 2020. It's a dreadful date. We all have chills when we hear March 2020, the night of the opening of Hybris. Everybody started canceling everything, and we had to pick up everything. We had our hybrid, which I'm going to show you a picture later on, in dress and in all the garment and everything, and everyone started crying, so we went home for a couple of months. We know the rest of the story. And I had a call from the Teatro Colón in Bogotá, which is a theater that usually did opera for many years, but in the last 20 years, it has been presenting contemporary projects. Since I'm a media artist, they told us, why don't you do something? We want to open an artistic residency, though the theater is closed. We want to be able to inhabit this space again, come up with something. So I came up with a website that was called Infinitos, and the play is also called Infinitos, which is inspired by Jorge Luis Borges' El Aleph. I always sent my students to get lost in the city, as the Chasseau de la Route with the flaneur figure, and find out something new and represent it with images or video or sounds or texts. So when we got locked down, I told my students to read the Aleph by Borges and to find the universe in their house, in their space of reclusion. So that inspired me to create this website. And this website had 4 categories that were revelations, nostalgias, detachments, and omens. Actually, Borges' tale opens up with Hamlet, so Hamlet is everywhere. We know. So actually it's about the infinite in a nutshell, right? So what we did is that we gathered testimonies from people. We opened up a website that was running for a couple of months, and people would write at the beginning. I thought we would track people. How old are you? Where are you living? What's your, are you married? Are you single? What's your gender? What's your orientation? And then I said, like, we are being tracked everywhere, all the time. Why don't we make it anonymous? So we started gathering testimonies from people, and by the time we premiered, we had around 400. Now people has kept on writing, so we have around 1,000, and people wrote amazing things. In the omens, people would write, the future is grim, the future is dark, we will not change, the world is going to be a terrible place. Some people said, we will be changed, but for the worse. And we did, we gathered all the testimonies. We did films for web, and then we did, when the theater opened back in 2021 in March, we did a performance inside the theater. It's a classical Italian setup theater. So we mapped everything. We only could perform with 1/3 of the occupancy of the theater. So actually what we did is to map everywhere, all the balconies and the plafond also. And we had performances, short performances, 4 times a day. So these are the omens. The omens is, he's Juan Carlos. He's an opera singer. He's been living in Europe for 30 years. He was one of my friends at the university. I saw him singing in his farm in Colombia because he fled Paris on the last night that the airport was open, and he was singing opera in the forest. So we brought him to the project. She's Juanita, a contemporary singer. So with this, we put on like a weird ensemble of things. So that's where the rare kicks in, because we try to do something strange, something weird, and trying to mingle all these kind of people doing different things. These are the detachments. The detachments were what people weren't missing, like the cities, like the traffic, like going to work every day. Like some people say, like, I'm quitting my job, I'm moving somewhere else. Some people told us that they got divorced. Some said that I miss my lover, for example. We had wonderful stories. Like very, very juicy stories too. Maybe we'll do something some other day. So this was very urban. We invited here a solo dancer. He was a solo dancer and choreographer, and he did this solo. It was beautiful. And these are you get to see like some kind of screens installed around the theater in the balconies. These are the nostalgias. The nostalgias were what people missed. We also did this project in Brazil, in Porto Alegre, Amsena. It's a beautiful festival. They opened again their stage with us in November. We worked with local artists there and with testimonies from people from Brazil. And then we went to Dubai. This is what people told us in Dubai. People were trapped in their luxury homes in Dubai. So we tried to recreate that. So people miss things like their loved ones, the ones that died, the ones that left, going out, breathing fresh air, smelling the grass, listening to the birds. So we try to recreate everything using technologies. Since I'm a media artist, I'm very interested not in the special effects of technologies, but in the poetics that technologies can convey. And the revelations dealt a lot with the uprisings also. We had a lot of uprisings. It's Latin America, so yeah, we're in trouble all the time. So we had a lot of uprisings during the pandemic. So we were hearing about people hungry, people having nowhere to sleep, and people fighting in the streets. So actually we also tried to convey that into the performances. So we did, as I told you, films for web with all the testimonies, and then this is when we reopened the theater. And the images and the choreography and everything was created with these invited artists that were people that were performing also for cameras, on TikTok, online. We did some kind of curatorial research of people doing nice things during the pandemic. So this is what we did during, it was 2020, 2021. And this was the premiere night. I lost my mother to COVID, so this work is dedicated to her. And it was a huge team. But there's a happy ending after all, is that we actually premiered the Hybrids, the play that was on hold during 2020. And we opened this is the expansion of the Teatro Colón, which is the center for the National Center for the Arts in Bogota. And this is the latest reincarnation of La Quinta. And this is what we did. We wanted to do something immersive this time, because for me, the design of the space is something that should be taken into account each time we do a project. So when we did Infinitos, we tried to create this atmosphere, but we had so few people in the audience, and we had people interacting through the website. It was sort of an inverted theater. How do you create a play not using, I mean, the script of Hamlet, but how do you convey Hamlet, and how do you bring people to write and to give you the words for a play? This is hybrids, which is based on the growler metaphor, which is one of the hybrids created by climate change, is the offspring of the polar bear and the grizzly bear. And what we did here is we tried to bring the people together around this structure, which is a dome. And we premiered this actually 2 months ago in March 2023. So there's a happy ending after all. And I think that what brings us together is the way we can tell stories and use technology, and I think in an interesting and moving way. That's mainly what we have been doing right now. And this is the hybrid. That's where Juanita was inside that creature that people think is some kind of animatronic or something. So the night the pandemic started, she would say, like, please give me some whiskey. And we had to put on a straw and give her something to put on through hard times. And this is the latest play that we have been working on. Thank you very much. I have a minute left, and that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Carmen. Wonderful. Thank you very much. Great pleasure. We have our fourth talk, which will be presented by Tomáš Žižka and Radka Šmelcová. And there is an assistant called Nikola Izakovic, who has the special task of flicking through 160 slides over in 10 seconds. Does it work? It does. So you can... Tomáš, over to you.
Okay, hello, my name is Tomáš Žižka, and I don't see anyone what can remember me. Many years ago I did for PQ some of the biggest action here with Dorita Hanach, with architect from New Zealand, and that was named Heart of PQ. It was a big installation. But what I want to say something basically about my colleagues. Radka is a long time working with me. She's expert for theater and fine art, like theory. Nikola Izakovic is still the student, and I am teaching in drama school. Not drama school, it's in fact, I am working now for Academy of Performing Art in general. There are 3 faculties: music, drama, and what is the third one? Drama, film, and music. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's 3 faculties. Sorry about it. 27 years already. I am dinosaurus of this. So basically, how I want to start it with the theme of this project. It was Nicola. What was the name of this project? Confluence, for sure. Yeah, Confluence, but it's Confluence, it's metaphorically on the land, what we find it, where we were invited by the Institute for Planning and Urban Research as Prague city, and we were working together also with University of Business, of Economical, Charles University with Economics. So basically this is the land where we are moving with the students in the time where was the pandemic time, where it was not possible either to be in the city, in the school. That means I am specialized for the site-specific theater and actions. How I can work with the students without in the monitors on the online. I say, okay, let's do it inline. That means take it, skates, bikes, cars, just to come to this area where was the flat, many times was the flatty area, what is always shaking, also tension between nature and the society of the classical like habitants. So basically this is very nice area of the garbage space. It is also nice area, it is not prohibited as the nature preservation. It is also always problematic whom relate this land. As in there we have like, I say 1,300 hectares of the land, what is huge land. And together with these three subjects, we come together to look for the other like possibility via fine art or drama art or music art or either any art to promote a little bit more or less this land as the supervision, something what can attract also local people. Like, you know, these people, they were not thinking about this land that it's something special, but after or through the pandemic time, this was the land where we can really work naturally, very as a common group together. Without the mask, we were outside. We were like kind of fishermen or firemen or either other men who are in the countryside, forestmen. So we were just testing. Also, I asked students or either everyone, can you make it something like your diary for? I mean, this is my diary. What is sometimes you see some pictures from. And this is my diary of the 2 years of research in this pandemic time. And this helped me a lot to go through this personage one by one through these communities and to solve the problems that I am so curious about damn land. That's when this was also perfect answer when you ask, for example, villagers who you are. They know who is the doctor, who is the priest, who is the teacher. But the artist, who is this? It's initiator of what? Provocator? So basically, we provoke local people to participate on some festivals, facilities. What we took it a little bit much more, this power from the past, from agricultural like traditions, celebrate solstice or celebrate midsummer days or celebrate local animals like beaver, you know. Beavers are on this land very naturally done. They are also much more artists than we are, much more architects than we are. So we were just like testing, and we are in the process now to have all the research as not just as publication, but as the methodology for the probably others. How to change the land, what was a little bit, we say, peri-urban land, where always every 3 years, maybe now with the change of climate, it's coming every 2 years, maybe every year it's coming. This is now some new situation. How I heard here someone from Chile was telling about like catastrophic. Yeah? That means we were very safe in Czech Republic. Oh, no wind, no water, not. Now it's coming. Yeah? That means this flatness, it's coming really naturally every year something. Yeah? So also the culture of the society start to be completely changed. Sovereignty of the statements of the sustainability was completely changed. So I try to teach my students to be prepared for many changes and just to be reactive, just to be positive, just to solve the problems of flood, of fire, or either other COVID problems. So basically, this my mission or our mission behind, yeah, you see many, we say, we will prepare some flash presentation, flash talk. What is very nice that we have 160 pictures, but we will not present it yet, yeah? But basically, it was made by accident, and I use it. Flash talk, it's just like to give you some kind of diverse atmosphere, that we are in the concept of diversity. And this is perfect, I think, post-COVID situation. I cannot say thank you, COVID, but we have completely changed something in our mind. Thank you very much. Can I just add something? That today night we have party on the beach with the locals. That means it's kind of poster who have interest. It's in my hands.
What time is it?
At 6 o'clock, started in periphery of Prague. And we just organized small bus from National Galleries.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much, Tomáš. Thank you very much, Nikola. Thank you very much, Radka. Okay, our final... Yeah. Thank you, I will need this. Well, Andrea will need this. Our final flash talk of this panel is Andrea Kovács, who is also a great friend of PQ. We met here 4 years ago. And Andrea will be talking about REFLEX, a reactivation of senses and private observations. Andrea, it's over to you.
Thank you very much. And thank you very much for the invitation. 4 years, wow, it's time. And I try to talk a bit about time, how important to handle time and make the invisible visible. REFLEX, it's a name of one of my exhibitions. I'm from Hungary. I'm a creative curator and manager. And during COVID, I just wanted something realized a kind of new way of thinking, that how we can have a journey to a familiar unknown when we were at home. So together with Andre Koronzi, who is not here, but I make him visible for him. Together with him, we went for excursions. He's dealing with the wind as a medium and a medium of his art. So in the COVID times, it was nice to actually rethink the definition of perception. If we don't go to the galleries and if we can't do projects together, then what is the perception and how we can communicate things if we are alone? Because perception, actually, it's the ability to see, hear, or become aware of something through the senses. So the senses we have all the time with us. Perception is the way in which something is regarded, understood, or interpreted. But perception is also someone's ability to notice and understand things that are not obvious to others. And this is the key, how we can rediscover these not obvious things. If you just have a look on these bags, and maybe later, after some slides, you will also think about them, then you get details. REFLEX, actually, it's a very automatic way of thinking that, okay, I see something, colors and bags, but maybe a composition later if you give time for yourself. If you try to more concentrate of the complexity of the signals, actually these signals, the 5 senses are very obvious, but really, if the perceiver, the target, and the situation can change, then you can also change them for a while. What if we go to the nature with a piece of bag and then we just watch it? It's completely another kind of thing. The passing moments, actually, it's also relative. It could be really a flash, and it could be 4 years, and it could be now. So the passing moments, actually, it's in the nature. We don't have such great places and buildings, what I saw, but we have the nature. So we just go out to see what happens if we let ourselves to see it. The observation, actually, it could be a kind of private tracking of the reality. So you can actually make stories for yourselves. If you give this time and the feelings, then here you can see that the same scene become a story. These ephemeral compositions actually could be created wherever and whenever, and also through maybe online channels, because REFLEX exhibition will stay with me for entire life, because nobody saw it. Only those who could come to the gallery, but we thought that that could be enough, and we do it, because the classical elements what we used in this exhibition, the earth, the water, the fire, and the air, actually you can feel it, and you can recreate them. So you see some materials, how we were thinking about to symbolize these elements, the fire, and with ice is melting, it's also time. So we created videos for meditative minutes just to see the time is passing. We also used these kind of little light bulbs which just went out of the light, and then you could just see how the time is passing. Eatable objects, what we can preserve for a while. And also give a new birth for the nature. But as I told, REFLEX, it's for me became also a way of thinking, the permanence and the transience and the time. So I try not to reflex only in 1 minute, but in general, just rediscover the details of the simplicity and the slow looking. We created together with Andrea in this space also a kind of wind creature, what could be activated with sensors, if sometimes hopefully we can present it, and then you can give life for something which is not existing, but only in the time when you are with it. And here there is a video which is 30 minutes, it's time, 30 minutes, but if you give time for yourself, then observe a bit, a piece of outdoor installation. Yeah, it was fast, I know. But this installation, actually, it's like an everyday routine. For Andrea, he's going to places and record these kind of miracles, and then actually creates scenographies from it. And because I wanted to make make visible the invisible, I have also a wind creature with me. So that's one of Andrea's installation part. And hopefully, when next time you see to dance a bag in the wind, you have time to see it. And a little bit reflex on it. So I have a flyer with me because we have a film about it, Behind the Wind. and I can give it to you and give time for your observations more. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Andrea. No, don't worry. Leave it as it. Leave it on. Okay. Thank you very much, Andrea. Thank you very much to all the 5 presenters for all the 5 teams. I would now like to ask you to come to the podium. Okay. So we have Arianne, Francisca, María, Fernanda, Carmen, Tomáš, Žižka, and Šmelcová and Andrea Kovács. And Jeru has a microphone, and I have the other microphone. So if we have any questions, please, and can we have some light in the room? Můžeme prosím rozsvítit v sále? Výborně. If you have any questions, please raise your hand, because we have had wonderful and very disciplined speakers. So we are fortunate to have time for questions. About 5 different, very different responses to COVID and crises and problems and issues. Or maybe some of our speakers have questions for one another or comments to make. Yes, there is a hand up. Okay. Do we have a question here? If you could introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Vespa. I'm from Finland. And I would like to ask that were there some practices that you had during the COVID time that you have now in your toolbox and you are using them as some kind of new practice that you discovered and you're going to use it in future as well? Thank you.
Thank you very much for the question. I wonder who would like to start that question. Okay, wonderful. Carmen.
Well, I think that if we learned one thing from all this isolation, is that theater is the place that brings us together. And we can use many devices, we can use technologies, but I think that the performing space, and that is something, actually I'm teaching a class that is called Digital Theaters. Here is Sanjay, which is my colleague in that class, and it's 6 universities around the globe united trying to figure out what happened to theater. And we are working through tools like Zoom and using cameras, but there is something that is missing, is that when we get together and we share a space and we breathe the same air, something changes, something makes you human. And I think that's what we should do with all this technology, is to find a way that it would not get over us. And actually, I think that's what I learned from all this time, and I'm a media artist. I've been working in technology for 30 years now, and ever since I was a young student at the university. So I think that we should not try to forget why is the reason that we're here. And that's, I think, what I learned from all this.
Thank you very much, Carmen. Tomáš, you have a microphone there.
I would like to add that, before when you ask, probably everywhere in the world, the public, where is the theater? Mainly they show you the building. They show you the fact of making the theater. But I will use the Auguste Boal word. The theater is the social act. And this is again after pandemic or through the pandemic, we were hungry to this social relation. We were really needed somehow to, I think, okay, I am stage designer, I can use the tools of the digital and the virtual spaces or something, but I needed to make the social relation like physically, like also to feel it, like you said, Andrea said about the senses. Through the senses, again, restart senses. I lost through the pandemic my smelling. I was so lucky to have it after 2 months back. But someone probably lost more or less, like more danger or some kind of more hurtful.
Thank you, Tomáš. Francisca?
Thank you. Well, before COVID, Fernanda and we are both women of theater. I study acting theater. And I remember my masters always told us the show must go on, you can never stop. Even somebody dies in your family, you have to go on stage. And I think that COVID teach us in our team and our life to work more from love and to learn that sometimes shit happens and you have to stop. And therefore we transform also our working goals and we keep on doing shows, of course, but we also are thinking of the process and we are more open and more flexible. And I think that's a really deep change and that will last, hopefully, for many, many years.
Thank you very much, Francisca. Arianne?
And I like when you said that artists are here to prepare, to fit the things in the different way, to show how to be together. And the pandemic make us get together even far away, and that is an amazing process, but because put us to share the things even inside our house, and this inside out, outside in, everything is very strong when we are together. This is the amazing thing learned for the
Thank you very much
pandemic.
for the questions. Thank you very much for the answers. Do we have more questions from the audience?
I would answer also
Yes, please.
to it.
Andrea, please go ahead.
That to slow down is a value. Actually, it's not laziness. It's about rediscovering something new, what you just think about that you knew. And I think this ability for us give new inspirations, that look around, give time. This could be a new journey. And that is COVID for me also. That's why I started that time is relative, but you are in your own time. And what do you do with this time? That's also your perception and your own story. So this is
Wonderful. Thank you very much. I have been discussing this with a number of people here at BQ, how even this PQ is much more tactile, that is much more olfactory, about smell, about engaging. So it is about the rare kind of rediscovering of the humanity. It's not just audio-visual, of course that's a part of it, but I really love that attention to those senses and reinventing the sensorium, so to speak, through time and also taking time to go through it. And it's wonderful to see how all your 5 talks are coming to a very similar point from different angles and different corners of the world. So thank you very much for that. We do have time for a few more questions. Yes, wonderful. Aziza.
Hi, I have a question for Arianne. It is going to be a very niche question because it's something that is also within my interest, and I really like how you work with markets. And so we all know, and this question is also partly prompted by María and Francisca's image of the shopping mall and that gigantic, like, terrifying structure. And I've been working with the idea of shopping malls as, you know, these liminal, sterile spaces that have taken out all the there's no personality anymore, as opposed to markets. And I was just thinking, have you ever considered in your practice to also do something with these shopping malls and somehow bring life to them, or somehow look at, you know, the changes that these malls, these faceless sort of structures bring to the society, and, like, yeah, just basically the idea of a shopping mall and how to make that space a communal space again?
Yeah, that was very strong to get into the market, because each one have a different context, and this changes. So we came out the two interventions. We came with imagination, and when we are there, changed everything, because the context, the meeting with the people that work is very moved the senses of the the space. So in each of these two experiences, was and even more in the Campinas, because was in the hard time of the pandemic. We are very afraid to be there, and the people are working. Working every day there, so to make the one relation in art and people and artists together, holding this space that is alive, that here is very beautiful to see us here moving this place that have a lot of details. And it's amazing place to that opens for many possibilities, and this is very, very site-specific and move a lot of sensibilities and cures and actions. I don't know if I have your.
Like, how, if that is an interest for you, like, have you ever considered, you know, the shopping malls that are like big?
These shopping malls, yes.
Where you have all these stores that are the same everywhere, but then people still inhabit these spaces and they come and they shop there, but like these spaces are devoid of any personality as opposed to markets. So would you ever consider doing something in those spaces, and how, if yes, how would you?
Yeah, I think art could act in every place. So, but we have to do a contextual art intervention. Have to be there and understand how you can activate some site-specific actions. I cannot answer because all this process was like 4 months inside there to understand the space and to in front of the reality of the space, make interventions. Sometimes it's very small. In Pouso Alegre is a small municipal market, and we just make some color actions. So such a sometimes a small action, and after we went out, the market changed. It was very beautiful to go there after, because they are very declined, but was very not the commercials was very depressed, because they didn't sell nothing, because have a supermarket, and so each place we have to stay there to understand how to move it with art. So it's very, very, very. I say that every time I do a site-specific installation, you have to have time there to understand how the flux go, how you can share. So it's really possible to imagine, but have to be there to understand and to feel how can activate the places. I like to make a contextual process, because you see the place with another eyes, that is not just me, but me and the artists and the people, their work, and everything together.
Okay. Tomáš would like to respond, and then we have a question here.
Okay, just short announce about the space here. It is also the market space, but before the big market space, this was the slaughterhouse. That means a lot of cows, a lot of horses, a lot of pigs. That's with the soul of this space. Probably art and PQ can bring up again compensation of that. Sorry about vegetarians here, but basically this was the main topic of this area here. This was the meat factory.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
The art can cure some spaces. I think we should get into every space and imagine art on that, because it's very strong and move the spirit of the places.
Yeah, María Fernando.
Yeah. Now I'm realizing we are here because of the pandemic. We're together. So, yeah, in fact. So,
We are alive.
for us, it was a quite different experience because we were standing in the building. So, besides being artists, exploring new areas, we had to stay here and to make it survive. So, we explored, but inside of the space, the different possibilities, and that was a gift because I think now we see the space with other eyes, and we are not just focused on the black box. Yeah. And that, it has been a huge learning for us. But also, the interesting thing that happened with us, I think, is that we witness the audience coming back to the theater, and that was very, something very emotional. We really realized how important it is to have this experience as humans. So at the beginning, we will have like a concert, and then the singers will be like moving, like, dance with me, but the audience were like with the mask and trying to move again and try to feel again what it was like to be in a concert. And then slowly how they relax again in this space, and they were able to feel comfortable within the community, which we were so unused to for 2 years, and that was magical. So for example, we did musical about this singer who was from the 60s and born in our region, and then all the people who were fans when they were 15, now they were in the venue, elders, with their children or great children, seeing this show after the pandemic, because elders had to stay at home and not be able to see anyone. So they came all together, and they felt the theater was full of old people, and we were like, oh, what are we doing? Is this safe? And then people start dancing and being 15 again, and it was this old lady who threw her, ¿cómo se dice bastón? I have no idea. Cane, like, throw her cane and start dancing again. And that was like a performance by itself. So they were seeing this, but we were seeing them. And that was really beautiful, because I think it resignifies this space, that it feels a little tight, you know, in the contemporary art, the black box, but at the same time, it is a space for the community to get together.
Okay, lovely, thank you very much. We have a question here.
This is for everybody on the panel. I think it's the philosopher Bruno Latour said that we should use the COVID experience as a time to think about our fields of work and practice in terms of what we'd like to get rid of and what we'd like to keep, so that when we get back to work, we can start thinking about what we'd like to get rid of, mainly, I think. So to the panel, I'd say, from your respective fields, what would you like to get rid of now we're back working?
Okay. Thank you very much, Jane. Who would like to start shredding? María, Fernanda.
One thing for me, because I work in the backstage a lot with the technicians and the producers, one thing I really like that we change is our relation with the artists. The technical crew, the production crew, and the artists, now they resignify their relation as well. And it's something that you will maybe not notice as an audience, but in our own process of work, we care more about people, and we're not fighting so much anymore, or we're trying not to, because we were glad to be together again, even when the technical crew were like, oh, these artists, they're asking me for this crazy thing. I'm like, but you actually miss them over this time, because if without them, your work, it doesn't have much more sense. And the same for the other side. So for me, that was something very valuable.
Go, Carmen.
I think we should get rid of preconceptions and judgment, because many people think that arts are supposed to be about one thing and that entertainment is another thing, and that I don't go to this place, I don't see this. And for example, well, since I'm a media artist and most people say that this is not pure theater, and it's not pure theater, it's another experience, it's an immersive experience. So actually what we found out when the theater opened is that many people, many young people came, and people that never been to a theater because they went to concerts or parties, and they said, oh, this is amazing, we have never been to a theater. And we also had people coming, people in their 70s in the first performance, and we were also so scared, we were like, oh my God, what are we doing? And there was one lady, and she said, I need to get out of my house. I've been coming to the theater always, there is no opera. I want to see what is this all about? And she loved it. And she said, like, this is something I never thought about seeing inside a theater. And I think that should go for everything that we do. And we should open spaces for people and connect in many different ways and try to understand where everyone is standing at any particular moment. And we should not forget about humanity. I think that's the main point.
Thank you very much. Andrea?
The pressure of doing all the time something new, because you should go deeper, and your knowledge actually could be just better when you are diving into the details. So for me, this pressure, what I wanted to rid of, never enough, of course, but quality and quantity, maybe these are the things that better to think about.
Any more suggestions from the panel what to get rid of?
Maybe already everybody said what was, but basically also I want to provocate this kind of professionalization, just to make the bubble of the stage designers, dramaturgies. I find it very inspirative that when I lost a little bit this prejudice to crossover, and to be, for example, social cultural mediator. I don't know how to explain. It is much more to invite people and to mediate some problems together inside the people.
Okay, wonderful. Arianne?
You mean like labels, that we don't need like categories, but somehow... Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was something that was coming, the transdisciplinarity, and now it is there for us. So it's a dispositive to get through, because it's, the borders are open. We don't have more. For us in the curator in Brazil, we found one artist for each state. So we met sound artists from all the country, and it was something that we could never achieve before, because we know how to talk now with these no borders, and that is very, very strong possibilities, open to not have less borders and more transdisciplinarity and more getting together. I think this is the strongest thing that we live now.
And on this liberating and a very positive message, I would like to ask you to thank our wonderful speakers of today. Okay.